Hi, this is Jolé Gabrielle and John Drew. Welcome to Elevated Planet and our Flying by the Seat of Our Pants live YouTube session. We're so grateful that you were able to join us. And today, John will be going into a little bit more of his story, especially dealing with the caves. We have a few surprises for you. And then we will go into a meditation towards the end of our broadcast. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to John. John?
Thank you. Wonderful. Yes, and I hope you enjoyed the intro. That was the one we tried to do last week, and then I panicked and couldn't make it work. So, second time around, it's still a little bit clunky, all joining all the bits up, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Every live broadcast at a time will be a little bit smoother and a little bit easier. But I hope you enjoyed it. I love that little video clip. I mean, honestly, it was worth pulling that together. I mean, the scariest bit was when I was filming that bit under the ocean with the hammerhead sharks, but you know, it was worth it. You got to take some risks at times to get the footage. Anyway, thank you, Jolé. We'll catch up with you before too long again for the meditation. Here we are. We're going to be going back into the story again, because you may recall from last week, really what we began this with was the journey to elevate the planet. Why does Elevated Planet exist? What's it all about? And for those who weren't here, there is a replay of that available on YouTube under our Elevated Planet YouTube channel. But just to give you the quick and dirty version of it, ultimately, you know, I started off, I was working in the finance profession for over 40 years. I was very left brain. I was very logical. I would never have dreamed of going for a reading in my life. But in the end, I did. I did purely because my daughter went for one and she had loads of messages for me that came through her reading, which seemed really bizarre to me. So in the end, I went and saw this lady called Susan Graw, and Susan was amazing. Susan is amazing. Again, on the YouTube channel, there is an interview with Susan, and it breaks down really what Susan is about. And she is incredibly talented. And I'm so grateful to her for what she did for me, because through her talent, she was able to show me that my version of reality was incorrect, because I just thought, well, you live, you die. That's the end of it. But really, I had a reading, and you know, my mom was there, who passed away in 1981. My ex-father-in-law was there, who passed away in 2016. And there was so many, there was so many people there came through for me. And it couldn't have been a trick, because that's always the thing that us left brainers think of. Could it be like they've researched it, they've done this, they've done that? It would have been impossible. So basically, by the time I left, I realized my version of reality had changed forever. And I then began this journey, because as a left brainer, I then thought to myself, okay, if I got it wrong, how wrong did I get it? So then I started researching this. This was over 5 years ago. So I've now done 5 years of dedicated research. I'm no longer in the finance profession. And, you know, this is where it's taken me so far. And really, it's about the journey is about understanding consciousness, because if my mom's been around since 1981 around me, even though she's passed away from this physical world, how does that work? What is that all about? And these were the questions that I really needed to understand. So I began this journey. I read loads of books. I hate to think how many books I have read over the last 5 years. I've listened to certain information. I've researched it as deeply as I could. And I've loved it. It's been a fantastic journey, because one thing that comes up, you know, really, really stands out for me is the feeling of liberation that it gave me to really understand the nature of reality better than I used to. It kind of takes the pressure off. It just makes life a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun, a lot more stress-free, without fear. You know, it's kind of, you know, this is probably about as fearful as it's been for a while. Juggling with the technology of YouTube Live through Zoom, which, you know, like still be mastering that one for a little while yet, but nevertheless, it was quite interesting. So last time, one of the things that I covered off, it was a bizarre situation that came to me because I there was somebody that I knew, and she had this spiritual business, which and she'd done Reiki healings for me, and she'd and I'd attended one or two of her classes that she used to run as well, and she's a really nice lady. And she told me on this one occasion that some friends of hers had just come back from New Mexico, and they were really, they were telling her that they'd seen her there walking into the Carlsbad Caverns, which I'd never heard of. But they said it was definitely her. He said it was no doubt, but it must have been a vision because she wasn't in New Mexico. She was still in California. But they said it was definitely her. They both saw her, and they were both absolutely 100% convinced it was her, but she was with a man. And what this lady then told me was that she'd meditated on it, and because like that was her thing, she was very deeply spiritual, and she did this meditation on it. And she'd come, when she saw me, she said, the man I was with was you. We were walking into the caves together. We both had to go to New Mexico to these caves. And I'm thinking, wow, that is just way too bizarre. For a start, it's 1,000 miles away. It means flights, hotels, everything like that. To go to a cave? Why do I need to go to a cave? What is this all about? I mean, I was kind of on a spiritual journey, but it was just way too much for me. That was just like so bizarre. It was weird. So I kind of like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. It just felt too weird. So then I ignored it for a while. And then I saw her again, and she was with all her friends, and they were all talking about this. They'd had the vision again. It had come through, had to go to the caves. Her and I had to go to the caves. There was some reason why we had to go to the caves. And they were really pressing me on this point. And I'm thinking, this is just too weird. I mean, like any of us mainstreamers, left-brainers, are not going to travel 1,000 miles to a cave system on some, off the basis of some bizarre visions that somebody's had. Why would I need to go to the caves anyway? So then, as a result of my confusion, I then decided to go to the Mystic Journey bookstore in Venice Beach, California, because there they had readers and healers. And that was when I looked down the list of the people who were available, and there was somebody there who I saw had studied the ancient mystery schools and the Dead Sea Scrolls from the age of 12. I was thinking, okay, well, if there's an ancient cave system I'm supposed to go to, I need to speak to somebody who's like steeped in ancient mythology and stuff like that. I thought that is my person. I just knew that was the person I had to talk to. So I booked a reading there and then with the lady. And the lady turned out to be Jolé. That was the first time I met Jolé. Now, I'm going to just, again, excuse me, but I'm going to mess around with the technology for a moment, because I created a video literally yesterday, which has the audio from that recording, which is specifically about the caves, because I want you to listen to this. And I'm hoping that this video share thing works, and that you will be able to hear for yourself. It's less than 6 minutes long, so it's not going to take up forever. But I think it's important, because within this, there's this talk here which kind of leads us towards elevated planet, even though at that stage I wasn't thinking elevated planet or anything like that. But let me give it a go. So again, bear with me a moment. Right, here we go. Hang on to your hats.
Okay, you are in your heart chakra, so I think what that has allowed, what this spiritual journey has allowed, is for you to be in your heart chakra. And the reader told me it's kind of new. It's not to say that you've been heartless, no, but you've been very linear, logical, and reasoned. You've been very mentally, intellectually focused, business focused. But I think these last few years, as you begin to align more with your purpose, or need more than just the aesthetics to help you with the money of this, to fill you up and moving into this energy, the caves are calling you. Really, just so you know, the caves are definitely calling to you, and it's really scaring you, and it's really about working in that heart chakra. So I'm going to go to a light green, and we're going to take a look at some of this energy in the heart.
So there's a warrior spirit there that connects with what goes on in those caves. And it's a courageous warrior spirit or something that's in you from a past life. So let's go ahead and pop out the fourth layer, any of those pictures that are negative or that hold you back or that scare you, because there's pictures here where that warrior has moved you forward in your life. It's got you killed, imprisoned, and it's wreaked havoc in your life to where, although it was good that you did what you did, on the flip side of that, you paid a high price. In this lifetime, you're not here to do that. You're not here to pay a price for your warrior spirit. You're actually here to win. And there's something there in that cave. And not only are you win, there's a bunch of people behind you that win. So the Creator has really blessed you because you're on the cusp of moving this sort of thing into the mainstream. So because of that, there's some gift there in a cave somewhere that is going to help you open your heart chakra a little bit more so that these two can do more talking and aligning so that the new business that you're going into, you have that business sense, but you also have that passion or that ability to be intuitive and know what's going to work on an intuitive level, what's right for the environment, the community, the earth, more so than what's right for the business. So you need that integration of those two things. And so that cave is there to kind of help you open that. And that's scary because there's been times when you've been that courageous that you've died. So you work on that, letting go of those past things. And we popped out those pictures, we trained them, we built you up with more light in those areas. But that warrior, he's not a killer. That's not what it's about. It's about planting the flag, taking what's rightfully his, opening up spaces and places for his people. That's the kind of thing you are here to be. And people is not like this, it's soul to soul. Your people are those that are trying to spread love, just for lack of a better word, to spread love, because at a deeper level, your soul, that love is the only thing that has the ability to transform negative energy into positive energy. So you're on the forefront of something great. Be okay. Take some time to meditate and open up your heart chakra. Bring in what it is that you need to retrieve that gift, and believe your imagination is so important right now. And you've been kind of a person of, let me see the receipts, the dates, the numbers, the times, because that's just what this dimension needs, to move it forward. Nevertheless, you kind of are up leveling out of that to where now it's like, your thoughts are going to have more ability to materialize and manifest without all the running of the Fred Flintstone feet, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So that's kind of another connection to that cave, is to really break you open in a way.
Right.
So I can see where the fear comes from, but as that warrior spirit in you, he's running towards the cave. It's in the heart here. Okay.
Wow.
So I hope that helps.
It definitely helps.
Okay.
It says, I do, to me, I feel that I have transcended like the logical side of me and allowing things to happen and not planning ahead to the same degree where you can kind of just allow yourself to be guided. I feel that's important to me, but the love thing is hugely important as well. I do want to be surrounded by a community of people that, where we can forge ahead and we can make things happen. And I truly appreciate that, because it's kind of made it clear that the caves thing is definitely something to look at and to pursue.
Very much so. Yes. I feel like whatever energy the project has, really good energy. It's white, it's clear, it's got light, it's beautiful, but then, sometimes critters are attracted to the light.
That is truly amazing.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm so grateful. It's always wonderful to be able to help people get out of the dissonance, because if you thrive, it helps me to thrive, everybody's interconnected. So the more people wake up and get rid of the fear, the more it helps me do the same. So I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity, to help people.
Hopefully you heard that okay. So that was the audio that I recorded when I had my first ever meeting with Jolé. And that was the reading that I had, which kind of it began, it reinforced this journey. Now, the cave thing. Okay, so I know this is something that Janet asked about last week. She was saying that looking forward to hearing what happened with the caves. So what did happen with the caves? Because now I have got to go to the caves, right? Now, that reading was on the 23rd of February, 2020. A lot of interesting things were going on in my life at that point because my day job was finishing at the start of April. So basically, I was working in California for a financial institution, and that job was coming to an end 1st of April 2020. And I'd already arranged, I mean, it was the boss that I had working, I was working for at the time over in Chicago, who was brilliant, lovely guy. And he really helped me to do this transition, because my transition was coming back to the UK, which I was very much looking forward to. But I had to get a lot of things lined up at the time. Now, one of the things I had to get lined up was the visit to the caves. So I did. I booked myself a flight. I booked my flight down to El Paso in Texas, from where I would get my rental car, drive the 4 hours in the direction that I had to, stop overnight in a hotel, then carry on the next day to these caves. This was not an easy journey. I mean, it was about 1,000 miles, but it wasn't even close to an airport. So I got it all booked, all ready to go. Quite excited about it. Originally, my daughter Stephanie was coming with me. However, as we were getting closer to the time, the COVID thing was starting to really create a bit of a mark on the world around us. And quite rightfully, she said, it's probably best if I don't go there, because if I get COVID, then I'm going to be really stuck for working and things. So, by that point, I was going alone. Now, I was due to fly back to the UK on the 24th of March, 2020. The flight down to New Mexico was the 17th of March. As I'm getting closer to the time, I'm starting to get some panicky calls from Emma, my partner over in the UK, who's saying, I'm hearing all these things about the fact that the flights are getting cancelled, and they're not going to have flights coming across doing the transatlantic thing. And I was listening to this, and I could see that this was indeed the case. And we were getting quite close to the time, and I was checking on the cabins, were they still open? In the end, I'm also getting emails from British Airways saying, if you want to bring your flight forward to make sure we still have a flight for you, you can do it without cost. So by now I realized I had to do it. So I never made it to the caves, because what I had to do was cancel my flight to El Paso and all the other bits and pieces that were there to go with it. And instead, I flew back to the UK on the 17th of March, 2020, when I should have been going to the caves. So I never got to the caves. So hence then, of course, I'm back for 1 week, and then the COVID curtain, the lockdown kicks in full, right? So by now, I'm living with my partner back in Sheffield. And, life is good, but I can't get to the caves anymore. And because of COVID, I can't get back to America for 2 years. So I never saw my daughter for over 2 years, other than obviously on video calls and stuff. But yeah, it was very, very difficult. And it was interesting because on this particular topic, Jolé and I did have like meditations. She kind of like was able to kind of make connections and things like in the way that only Jolé can. And the caves are still calling. That's the interesting thing. And I was told that it could be this year, which won't be this year because I won't be able to make it this year, but the following year. So 2024 could be the time when I finally make it to the caves. But, not to worry that but it will be okay, and it'll still be there for me, whatever is waiting for me. Now, why would I have to go to the caves? Now, this was something obviously that played on my mind quite a bit. And I researched this, and I found there were a number of people out there who'd had epiphanies, if you like, by going to certain cave systems. And it's not always the caves, it can be different places as well. And it just kind of got me thinking, is that because there's got to be a reason. there's got to be a reason why I am supposed to go. And it's got to be, what is it? Is it like a download of something that I can pick up? And I'll tell you what was also interesting. Carlsbad Caverns, there's about 100 caverns, there's about 60 miles of caves in total. It's a spectacular place by all accounts. But also it used to be a place where the Native American Indians were very prominent in that area for many, well, hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. They were very spiritual people. And I do know, and again, part of my research over the last few years has revealed that there are ways in which energy, well, okay, wisdom. Let's talk about ancient wisdom. It can be it can be stored in a variety of ways. I mean, we're familiar with things like books, recordings, DVDs, you know, like you know, the ways that we do all this kind of stuff these days. You can easily reserve, you know, sort of different ways of maintaining wisdom. However, there are ways, because I mean, it all comes back to the energy, right? We're all made of energy. Our entire body is made of energy. This desk that I've got in front of me is made of energy. We're all just waves and particles, all vibrating at a unique frequency, which makes us who we are. What you can do, and again, has been done over thousands of years, millions of years, I don't doubt, if not, well, billions. Let's go billions. Let's go really far out here. But there are ways in which wisdom and energy can be stored inside stones, rocks, and various things. Because if you go back a long time ago, there were times when you know, the shamans or the witch doctors, whatever you want to call it, they used to create what you'd call, say, a healing rock in certain places, where they would imbue it with certain energies that were very healing. So all that people would have to do for the, you know, for specific types of issues, they would go to this rock and they would be able to meditate to this rock and they would receive a download. So there's ways that, you know, wisdom and various things have been stored over the years, which is not in the traditional way that we know it to be. It's energy stored within rock, within stone, maybe within caves, right? I have no idea. I have no idea, but I know that's happened. I know there's a lady, I think she's called Wendy Kennedy, and she channels this galactic kind of energy. And she didn't do until she went into the cave system, which actually was under Ayers Rock. But that was when she came back out, she was able to receive all this information from a galactic source. So she can actually speak what they call light language, which might just sound like gibberish to many people, but it's so bizarre, it's so weird that it is a language. It's a weird thing. Now, she got that through visiting these caves. She had no idea. She wasn't expecting this. This was just like something that she was just there visiting and exploring. So I know that was one example, and I know other examples exist as well. So I don't yet know what that cave system is going to bring. But I'll find out eventually. So anyway, Janet, there's the answer to your question. I haven't been there yet, but I hope so. I hope I do get there, and then I will be able to report back directly as to what happens. Or I might look very different by then. I might look like a shamanic witch doctor or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, it's exciting.
That was funny.
Thank you, Jolé. Thank you for your intervention. So I think that, well, anyway, like getting back to the story, that was part of the journey, but there is so much to this journey of understanding consciousness. And again, it comes back to this thing that we're all energy. We are just literally made of energy. And when we die, this is what I've learned, is that when we die, energy never dies. We know that as a fact. That's a scientific fact. Energy cannot die. So what happens is that our life force energy, which is what fires, because this is the other thing as well. This is an important point. We are not the body, right? We are immortal spirits having a human experience is what we are. I hadn't realized that, but we are, okay? So we associate ourselves with the body. We assume that we are this physical vessel. But the reality is, once you understand, you kind of, and again, this is the analogy that I've used before, but it's kind of like saying that when you're out driving your car and you believe you are your car. Well, you're not your car. You're not your Ford Fiesta 1.3, right? You are the life force energy that fires up this amazing physical vessel that you go through life in. And you've got to look after the physical vessel because this is kind of your vehicle for this lifetime. So you've got to be kind to it. And it's 50 trillion cells of miracles as well. If you think about what it is, you know, it is an incredible thing. So we are immortal spirits having a human experience. That's one thing that I learned. And when we die, all that happens is that life force energy goes back home. So this is not home. This is like the Aborigines used to refer to it as dream time. The life as we know it is referred to by the Aborigines as dream time. And in fact, it's funny because when I had my interview with Sheila Seppi going back a few months ago, I asked her the question because we were talking about the nature of reality. And I said to her, you know, I understand the Aborigines regard this as dream time. How do you refer to it? Because Sheila is a unique human being. I mean, she's brilliant. And she says, absolutely, this is dream time. She says, this is not real. She says, but you're here for this life experience and you're here for, and honestly, if you get a chance, look up the Sheila Seppi interview with Elevated Planet. You can learn so much there on its own. Sheila is a very special person. And yeah, this is kind of the dream time. So when you die, you're actually going home. So the fact that my mom has been around me ever since 1981 when she died, and she knows what's going on in my life. I mean, every reading I've had since I had that first reading, mom's always there. She's always there. And it's amazing just how consistent this is. And she's excited for this journey that we're on. She's, because we're writing a book as well now. So Jolé and I are on the case here to kind of create the first Elevated Planet book. It's a journey in progress, and my mom went to a reading recently, and my mom was all excited about it, and she's kind of saying, yes, we can do this, we can like, and she's given me instructions. We were talking about healing side of things, and she was giving me this message saying, okay, well, don't talk about it as healing, because when you talk about healing, that suggests people are not well. Talk about it as being well-being. Okay, so mom, it is well-being. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're going to focus on well-being. We're not going to talk about healing, because there's a lot of people who are really well and still can do with more well-being. We can always do with well-being. Anyway, at this point, I am going to stop my dialogue for this week, and I'm going to bring Jolé back in. And we can pick up on this again next week. This is a journey that still has some way to go yet, but it's going to be fun. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it, you know, moving. But Jolé, one thing I wanted to raise with you, and actually I do want to check and see in a moment whether we have any questions, thoughts, or anything like that that we need to answer at this point. But before I do that, one of the things that I didn't get to answer last week, one of the points that was made by Kevin, who's one of our community, and I hope Kevin's here again this week. But thanks for your comments, Kevin. It was, I'm delighted you were here for us. But one of the things that he mentioned was, I spoke last week about past lives, and I spoke about it as if it is a matter of fact, okay? And to me it is, and this is one thing that I would share with the community right now, is that when I'm explaining things, I'm explaining it from what I consider to be my enlightened perspective, having studied it for 5 years. But my version of reality is just my version of reality, right? I don't ask people to take my version of reality and make it theirs. I honor the fact that people will have different perspectives. And I think also the other point I would think is that it's right to be discerning, because there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of misinformation. So we do have to be discerning about how we, you know, take these things on. But Jolé, I was going to ask you the past lives thing. I mean, you know, you've been steeped in this throughout your life. So could you share something on that for us?
Yes, you know, Eastern mysticism and the ancient religions speak to there being a great wheel turning and the soul continuing to come back to have these experiences in order to evolve. So that lends itself to being coming through these generations, something that we can rely on as being a griot sort of factual thing, right? We also have what John has shown in some of the videos and what we have of people remembering, children remembering with accuracy, some of the past lives that they've had. Nevertheless, I understand that from a scientific and earth-based perspective, past lives can be scary. Not only that, they can look as if there's something of the woo-woo or the delusional, which it's okay. You can keep it there because you do have to suspend a tad bit of belief in order to go there. But in my work and what I've done doing past life regressions for people and being past life regressed myself, I have been able to welcome in more wellness, right? By being resolving and dissolving some of these things that I was holding on to subconsciously, which once tapped into was able to release and resolve some of these physical as well as emotional issues, spiritual issues I was having. So for me, I get it. I'm an extreme skeptic. And that's why John and I have connected and integrated in ways, because we need science to back up some of the things that we speak about. So that's why we give you these videos of people who have had these experiences of, out of OBE, out of body experiences, or they've seen their lives pass before their very eyes, this life, maybe even past life, deja vu moments. All of these things speak to puzzle pieces leading to a past life. Nevertheless, if it's something, because it is advanced studies, so to speak, and that's not to say a lay person cannot understand it, but dig into your dreams. So your subconscious will help you work out some of your past lives. So for Evan, I think this was his question, correct?
Kevin.
Kevin, if you could keep a dream journal and go through and look at some of your dreams, you might see scenarios that maybe resonate with you or be like, wow, I kind of remember that. But that's a great way to tap into some of the science or the truth behind a past life in real time. Okay, that's one way. Also, the subconscious is, of course, working out things in this lifetime as well. But that's a great way to kind of tap into that. And I also would advise you to think about having a past life regression to sort of help you connect with some of that energy, to feel safe doing so.
Wonderful. Just an interesting point actually made by Janet here as well, which she was talking about crystal healing. And she says she also feels tingles when she goes into stone circles and the likes. And I'm getting the fact that, Janet, I think, is very sensitive to a lot of these energies. And I know, again, like talking about the way that energy can be stored within crystals, within rocks and energies and stuff like that. But yeah, what any thoughts on that, crystal healing and that?
Yeah. Okay, what's coming in from her perspective is that she's extremely connected, but what I'm seeing is her being in the clouds. There's not a lot of grounding. So the reason why these crystals are tingling and why she's experiencing this tingling energy is because it's telling her, please ground. So anytime that she's feeling that energy, go towards a smoky quartz, go towards a piece of wood, Palo Santo, these things to ground your energy, because you are very intuitive, especially because crystals, they do not conduct at a high frequency. So when you are starting to pick up energy from crystals, you are highly intuitive. But I'm also getting there's some ungroundedness with this. So the crystals are saying, work with me, ground your energy, and then go into the deeper aspects of your spirituality. So Janet, is that her name? Janet?
Janet Bob.
Yeah, tell her that this is the crystals are sort of giving her a call, but to use their electricity and their knowledge and their wisdom, but yet and still do it from a very grounded perspective.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that actually, Jolé, because I was listening to something today. Again, it's a book that I've also listened to prior to that as well. But again, this was actually one of the Dolores Cannon books, and they were talking about a lady who, again, it was a crystal related thing. It was like a past life going back to Atlantis, right? Going back to Atlantis, but she was a higher being and she used to work with crystals on behalf of like the human race, if you like. So this is all that we were out there kind of thing, but no, I mean, this was real. And she's back on the planet now for the Earth transition that is happening. We're at this inflection point between the old Earth and the new Earth. And you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to do a proper new Earth live stream. I think we need to talk about this, you know, the whole 3D to 5D kind of movement, what it's all about. What do we know about it? And I don't think there's not unequivocal answers to any of these things, but there's a lot of things to think about. But this lady was talking about, Dolores was getting the subconscious speaking through this lady. And it told her that, yes, she had an affinity for crystals, because in this life, she's got a crystal shop. She works with crystals, but she doesn't understand it all, right? But she's coming online, and they were saying what you need to do is stand barefoot on the ground with, you know, your crystals, because this is the earthing thing, right? You need to connect to the earth. So literally barefoot on the ground with your crystals. You don't have to necessarily take your clothes off. You're okay. You can just keep your clothes on, but just take your shoes off. And like stand there, you know, just in the garden, Janet, with your crystals. But I think that grounding thing, it's interesting you mentioned the grounding thing, because this was very much, and in fact, if you're interested in the particular book, Janet, I can point you to it, or even get you that particular section that you can listen to, because I think you may real have an affinity with it. And Janet did say thank you, Jolé, as well, for your words of wisdom of a moment ago as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Janet, come aboard. She's one of us, you know, let's
Yes.
elevate the planet.
Okay. Now at this point, Jolé, this is when I butt out, because now you're taking the center stage here. And again, I have got a little bit of work to do here to share screen and then go mute.
Thank you so much, John. For those of you joining us for this meditation, I want to say thank you so much. I have so much gratitude for you joining with us to help elevate the planet. So one of the first things we need to do is connect with our soul architecture and put ourselves back together spiritually. For those of you joining me on this meditation, please find a comfortable place to sit or lay down. For those of you laying down, please keep your feet flat on the floor or whatever you're laying on for the beginning part of the meditation. And uncross everything. Connect with your breath and begin to breathe with the rhythm of your body. As you place your hands, palms up on your thighs. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, bring your awareness to your chest, which is your heart chakra. And if you haven't already, please close your eyes. Please connect with your breath. How are you breathing? Make sure there's a cadence and a rhythm to your breathing that makes your heartbeat sync up with your breath. Now today, our meditation is going to be one directly dealing with ways to resolve, dissolve specific dis-ease and illness, whether it be physical, emotional, or spiritual. There is an exercise that you can do to help relieve and release disease and illness. As you bring your awareness to your heart chakra, I want you to imagine yourself grounding down into Mother Earth. Visualize, generate, or imagine a grounding cord of a natural earth element, 6 inches in diameter, moving from the heart all the way through the body and its energy, so it does not feel like anything but positive, loving energy as it moves down through your body, through the chair, through the ground, and it begins to move through the crust of Mother Earth. And then it begins to pick up speed as it moves through the lithosphere, traveling at the speed of light. It goes through the asthenosphere and it roots itself down into Mother Earth. Feel her positive life force energy, her nurturing. Give her gratitude. Tell her thank you for feeding, clothing me, and putting a roof over my head. Receive some of her beautiful energy as you give love. And now bring your awareness back into that heart. As you call in beautiful golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles, which blanket the inside and the outside of your grounding cord, all the way down to the roots. Simultaneously, these scrubbing bubbles are scrubbing off your grounding cord of anything that no longer serves you, anything that belongs to anyone else, their energy, their judgments, their expectations, any karma, any dis-ease or illness you may have taken on in this lifetime. These golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles that are blanketing the inside and the outside of your grounding cord, all the way from the heart down into the roots of Mother Earth, are cleaning this energy off, eating away at it like Pac-Man eats away at those circles. They're eating away at these cells of disease, of illness, of taking on anyone else's energy. Clean off your connection to Mother Earth. Make it pure. And while this is taking place, I want you to generate, visualize, or imagine a beautiful golden sun above your head, big and bright. And I want you to see the divine, a big hand come out from the side with a pitcher filled up with unconditional love, pouring that into that golden sun that's above your head. As those scrubbing bubbles are cleaning off all of that disease and that illness, that judgment, that criticism, that cell trauma, fear, guilt, shock, shame, worry, all of that is being removed and resolved by those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubble. As that sun of unconditional love is above your head, now I want you to bring your awareness to the crown of your head. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body. And remember, your heartbeat is synced up with your breath. I want you to imagine the crown of your head opening up like the lens of a camera. Breathe. And now, all of those golden rose-shaped cleaning utensils fall away into the core of Mother Earth. Watch them as the ones on the outside of your grounding cord just sort of fall backwards down into Mother Earth, and they sizzle, turning into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use. The ones on the inside slide down, leaving your grounding cord pure, clean, as you bring that golden sun down through that crown, allowing it to fill up that cranium, moving down that channel, filling up that heart chakra as it moves down that grounding cord inside of your body, and then it goes down that grounding cord into Mother Earth like melted chocolate. It travels all the way down that grounding cord, bringing you into the present moment. Breathe with the rhythm of your body as you watch this beautiful golden essence of unconditional love fill up your grounding cord, moving through the crust, through the lithosphere, traveling at the speed of light through the asthenosphere, moving through those roots and any excess going into Mother Earth. Breathe. Connect with your heartbeat as it syncs up with your breath. As you are grounded and rooting into Mother Earth with the grounding cord that is 6 inches in diameter, connected to that heart chakra, clean, clear, filled with the gold light of unconditional love. And now, I want you to open those feet chakras like the lens of a camera. And I want you to call in the divine electricity from Mother Earth. As you begin to call in 85% cosmic gold life force energy, healing energy coming in from the divine through your crown. And I want you to just allow for this energy and this essence to fill you up as that electricity from Mother Earth pulsates throughout your body, allowing for this gold light to infiltrate and solidify into each cell of your body, lighting you up, pulsating out any disease, any illness within your body, shocking the system, bringing you back into balance of optimal health. As this electricity from Mother Earth, 15% electricity to be exact, integrates with this golden cosmic life force energy, eating away at any dis-ease and illness that you may experience in your body. Let's go to that heart chakra for those of you that may have myocardial infractions or cardiovascular issues. Allow for this gold light and this electricity to pulsate throughout those ventricles and those arteries, breaking up any cholesterol, any plaque, any type of blockages that you may be experiencing in your heart. Those cells are eating away at that plaque. They're eating away at that cholesterol. They're eating away at any of that, whatever is blocking that artery, any of that blockage in that ventricle, may it be the right, the left. That electricity pulsates as that gold light infiltrates. For those of you that have problems with your stomach, go down into your colon and your stomach and allow for those cells to break up all of the blockages, all of the IBS issues, the gas, the bloating. See that golden light force with that electricity eat away at any of that issue, bacteria, the flora, the fauna, the candida overgrowth you may be experiencing. See those cells being electrified by Mother Earth, those cosmic cells eating away at any disease and illness in your body. You have a bulging disc, you have issues in your back. See that electricity pulsate to that spine as that golden light cells infiltrate your spine in the lumbar, thoracic, cervical region, opening up the spine, opening up the nerves. Do you have tennis elbow? See that electricity mix in with those golden divine cells, pulsating, eating away at that tension and that stress, and maybe that sugar type of crust that is over your muscles and your ligaments. Eat away at that inflammation in the joints. Have that electricity pulsate and integrate with those divine golden cells, eating away at the disease and the illness in your body. And now these cells have infiltrated your entire body, eating away at any toxins, any trauma, any disease, and any illness that's in the bloodstream, the lymphatic system, the nervous system, your reproductive organs, your digestive system, your cardiovascular system, all parts and pieces of your body, your skeletal system. All of this gold light and this electricity is now going throughout your aura layer, removing and resolving anybody else's energy, anything you're ready to let go of and release. See this beautiful golden light infiltrate your aura layer, resolving and dissolving any pictures, any past life experiences. Make sure that you see this essence melt down your back, removing any knives, any type of backstabbing energy, any gossip, any judgment, any criticism, any negative energy that you do not know of, resolving and dissolving this energy and this negativity that may be creating disease and illness within your body, especially bringing that electricity and those cells of golden cosmic life force energy into the center of your head, resolving and dissolving any doubts, any fears, any judgments, any criticisms, any type of labels you may have put on yourself, any stereotypes, any generalizations, moving out any disease, any illness, any schizophrenia, any cognitive dissonance, working out any confusion. Allow for this electricity to move throughout the center of your head, your cranium, working out any confusion, bringing in clarity, bringing in your highest purpose, bringing in lots of self-love, bringing in a divine vision which aligns with your purpose and your highest potential. Allow for this energy to just move throughout your body, moving out any disease, any illness, releasing anything that no longer serves you, and filling you up with a divine life force that is your birthright of abundance, of prosperity, of optimal health, of connection with divinity, filling you up, pulsating down that spine and that nervous system, moving into any and every cell within your body. As you breathe from a heart-centered space, knowing that you are worthy and deserving of optimal health, to be flexible, to be mobile, to be filled with optimal physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being in the highest and best way, with grace and ease. As you take a deep breath in and you bring your awareness back into your heart chakra, I'd like you to please close your feet and your hand chakras like you would the lens of a camera, and stop that electricity from coming in. And now, close your crown chakra gently and stop running life force energy. And now, if our higher self was not back above us, we're going to call it to be sitting at a comfortable distance above our head. This is our connection to the divine. We're going to make sure our aura layer is 1.5 feet around us, 18 inches in front of us, behind us, to the right and to the left of us, and above and below us. Our astral body is snapped in, feet and feet, knees and knees, hips and hips, shoulders and shoulders, hands and hands, head and head, fitting inside of us like a hand fits inside of a glove. The center of our head is clean and clear and filled with gold light, and we are rooted and grounded into Mother Earth, bringing all of our energy and that optimal health into the present moment and beyond, moving into the future. And when you are ready, give yourself a little wiggle, letting go of any excess energy. Take a deep breath in, and now you may open your eyes. This meditation is one that you can take with you, and if consistently used on a regular basis, it can work to help relieve and release any disease and illness you may be experiencing, not only in real time, but it can help you in the future. Now, this, as I said, is a meditation that's meant to help you align with your doctor's orders, your therapist's orders, your psychiatrist, and those in the westernized medicine. We align with that, but it also is something to where you can begin to take responsibility for how you're showing up emotionally and how you're seeing that dis-ease, because it's an opportunity for you to step into wellness, not into negativity, doubt, fear, and worry. It can be seen as a gift that, if worked with, can then transform into something that, I guess, will take you to a higher level of understanding versus the grave. Okay. So we're here to work with you, and we hope that this meditation will help you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Jolé. That's wonderful. I think as well that one thing we will do at some point, because we did some work on soul architecture, didn't we? And I'm thinking that for a lot of people, that could actually be quite useful when you're talking about astral bodies versus, auric body and energy bodies, versus physical body, how that all plays together.
Right.
I don't doubt that might be of use. I know it was to me.
Yes.
Because again, a lot of us, we don't get taught this stuff, do we? So,
Right.
yeah.
But you know what? I want to just lay on the table that for those of you that maybe this is a beginning to your beginning meditator, don't worry about that because your higher self is a part of you that will receive all of this. So you're like, I'm confused, I can't see. What we're trying to get you to do more than anything is to relax and breathe with the rhythm of your body, connect with the love that's in your heart, and just allow for your breath to cycle that through you. So if there's anything you need to take from this, it's that focus in on your breath, keep your energy in your heart space, sending love to other people, and then allow for your higher self to take in the information that I'm giving. Your job is not to worry or fear or say you don't know. It's to relax and just take it all in from a place of love.
Wonderful. Okay, well, that's fantastic. And we are just a little bit over time at the moment, but at the same time, the good thing is the YouTube's still going. So I didn't know it was going to cut us off immediately. It reached sort of like 6 p.m. UK, but no, we're still going, which is great. And just a couple of comments here. Janet actually commented that she does do the barefoot grounding on a regular basis, which is absolutely the right thing to do by the sound of it. So that's really good. Veronica Seaman said, thank you, Jolé. Felt the energy flowing. So that was great.
Wow.
And Janet also came in and she says that was wonderful and helpful. So cracking.
Great. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ronnie.
All right. Well, I think we'd better sign off for the week. And thank you, everybody who joined us today. Truly appreciate your support and, spread the word because this is the beginning, right? I'm still a little bit clunky with the technology, but we're getting there. And we're just going to keep expanding this out. And also, where there are specific points that you would like covered, anything, just let us know. Just drop us an email. You can send it to me, John Drew, JOHNDREW @elevatedplanet.life, or there's a contact page on our website, which is elevatedplanet.life. And you can drop us any message you care to there, and Jolé and I will receive it. So, Jolé, thank you very much.
Thank you. This was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to the Elevated Planet community. And we look forward to doing the same thing again next week. Oh, just quickly, the weekly is going to go out tonight. And within that, one of the things I've started doing, I'm doing the 12 universal laws. We're down to law number 6 now, and I did a large piece on this today. So I also created it as a podcast, and the podcast is designed so you can watch it if you wish to, because it is a YouTube video, but it's also designed in a way that you can just listen to it as well. So that I know what I do a lot of stuff while I'm doing my chores and things. I just keep the audio books running in the background and I can just pick up on everything that's been said. So for a lot of people, you don't want to sit down and look at things, then you can just play it anyway. And it's a good way to get through it. But I just wanted to throw that one in. Podcast, we'll be doing all 12 universal laws on the podcast. And all these will also find a way to a podcast as well. Bye all. See you next week.